Hello everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Digital Transformation Live series. I'm Ali Soofastaei, an AI program leader in Valley. Our live interviews have been designed to develop the knowledge of applied data science and advanced analytics in different industries aimed to touch Industry 4.0. These live sessions are held every Friday with the presence of one of the university professors, industrial managers, and experts in the field of Industry 4.0 and digital transformation. Today, we will discuss the potential of data analytics for energy efficiency of mining equipment with a focus on conveyors. And this is my honor to introduce my guest, Mr. Stefan EBERT, Head of Product Line in Revamp. Stefan graduated from RWTH Aachen in Germany. For many years, he has focused on the development of database improvements in existing mining operations. During his career, Stefan has managed many technical projects in Thailand, China, Kazakhstan, and he's an expert in optimizing mining and material handling equipment from pit to port. Welcome, Stefan, and thanks for accepting my invitation to be with us today.
Hi, good to be here. It's a pleasure.
All right, so Stefan, just as a first question, I would like to know what story led you to your current role? I mean, what is your background?
Sure. Yeah. As thank you for your introduction. So yeah, I'm an RWTH Aachen alumni. Graduated as mining engineer, and around 2011, around 12 years ago, I started with FLSmith. At that time, it was ThyssenKrupp Fördertechnik. I started in engineering, mechanical engineering, conveyor engineering, and then my journey got me into sales and product management, and now after 2-3 years I'm in the field of revamps. So, and what the roles were did differ, but nevertheless in all roles I had close relations to the conveyor technologies, either in design, sales, or product management. And now I'm leading the product line revamps. After the acquisition of ThyssenKrupp by FLSmith, this is a part of the FLSmith department of upgrade and retrofits. And what does it mean? It basically covers modification of the complete portfolio of FLSmith, which means we are targeting the full flow sheet, and FLSmith now also brings into account even equipment like thickening, flotation, or also dried stack tailings. That's basically the field where my playground is based.
Awesome, perfect. You started from mechanical engineering, but you focus on one specific area, one equipment, and extend your knowledge for making that equipment, using that equipment, and sales, everything. That's great. I think your career and your work style can be one of the role model for the people who want to focus on this specific area and extend their knowledge and experience. That's great. It's amazing. So let's talk about the second question that I have today for you is why do you think energy efficiency of mining equipment is important?
Energy efficiency in mining, it's a big one, in my opinion. So mining consumes, typical numbers are 3 to 6% of the global energy consumption. Some numbers even talk about 10%, which I don't really believe, but I think 3 to 6 is quite accurate. And so this is a huge share of the energy consumption. And by the way, so it's a real actually a real privilege to work in this industry. So I'm really privileged to be able to contribute in that industry and implement levers which has a real huge effect. And what means efficiency, and where do I feel that there is a huge value, is that if you're looking at the Paris Agreement, so the green transformation, the decarbonization, there will be a huge need of additional metals and accordingly mining. And without the supply of these metals, things won't be able to transform. And that means that we need a much higher efficiency, that we have an even bigger lever to approach within mining. And there I see two major levers in terms of mining equipment efficiency, which is the first one is basically decarbonization, which means nothing more than we have a lot energy is generated by fossil fuels, and it's basically the transformation to electrification or yeah, for example, hydrogen powered by solar energy or by green energy. So that's the first big one which we can contribute in mining. And the second one is really waste energy as the major lever. So we have mining operations. These also need to ramp up production. And there are huge potentials to be addressed. So on equipment itself, so if you have more efficient equipment, we can lower the infrastructure, or with the same infrastructure have higher capacities in the mines. And yeah, and that's the starting point for me. And I think there's a huge lever and huge potential in mining, and that's quite an exciting field to be in at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. As you may know, I have worked in this area as well for a long time because it was my favorite major, energy efficiency. Energy efficiency, it's not just one topic in industry, because energy efficiency is related, and it will be in contact with other parameters that we are looking for optimization for them. For example, when you are try to reduce the fuel consumption in surface mines or in underground mines, in parallel, you can reduce the greenhouse gas emission. You can improve safety, and also you can improve productivity. As a personal, experience, when I completed my PhD thesis many years ago, I wanted to reduce the fuel consumption by whole truck by developing AI and advanced analytics model in different mine sites in Australia, in the United States, in South Africa, and everywhere. But as a side effect of focusing on this project, we found that by optimizing some effective parameters on whole truck fuel consumption, we can also improve productivity. And it's amazing because it is the multi-dimensional optimization for this industry. But I believe that for other industry, we have same story. And now this is a big major for the companies to focus on reducing carbon, improving energy efficiency, improving safety. So I can see plenty of room in front of the researchers and the companies who are interested in working in the field of energy efficiency. That's amazing. So, but let's talk about the energy consumption of conveyors, because this is your major, especially in mining or in one mine. What is the share of energy consumption of conveyors in the mine? Or can you give us a rough estimate?
Sure. So yeah, if you're looking the percentages in a mine, which is, I think it's very obvious, is that the major contributor or major share of energy consumption is the grinding circuit. So comminution and especially the grinding circuit. So this accounts for the major share. But then the next big sector is usually transportation and especially on not very specified than the mobile equipment. But here we are in shares of about 20 to 40%. And if we then go down, like if we have a truckless mine, for example, and we have a pure conveying for transportation, so what we assess a typical number would be in the area of 20% of a mining operation, and that's the area we target if you're talking about conveyors. That we say there's a huge benefit which we can gain there, and yeah, that's basically that's the playground for conveyors. So I
For
would say
convert energy.
area of 20% of share in a mine. That's
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. So thinking about any solution can help us to reduce this energy, uh, too much. So, but as you know, the scope of our conversations and interviews in this live series is digital
yeah.
transformation, artificial intelligence, and advanced analytics. I believe that we have many companies and researchers at universities focusing on energy consumption by conveyors, and maybe they offered many different types of technical solution for that. But since we are speaking about digital transformation, how can digital transformation and advanced data analytics help reduce conveyors energy consumption in mine site?
Yeah, for conveyors, I usually see it in 3 steps or 3 phases. So the first one is really a simple analysis of the status quo and of the conveyors. So which means we collect data, or we have a data set, and we do this digital twin health check of which we call it of our overland conveyor company brand. So this is rather I would say a static analysis. So we are looking on a small time frame of data, and there we put this into the software, into the conveyor calculation software, and then we compare with the simulated numbers. And from these very actually mostly very small amount of data in comparison to what a live stream or a live batch of data could give you. So that's quite a small amount of data, and there are really really already very good insights in terms of how you operate the conveyor, and what frictions in the conveyor you could possibly take out with not too many measures. So which for example, if there's a misalignment, so it's a quite low effort measure you take out, and this can be huge effects on efficiency. So what we are talking about here in this first phase would be an kind of incremental optimization of a conveyor. And the charming part of that is, if we are doing this health check analytics, it really only needs 4 or 5 parameters of data. So it's basically it's time, it's the load of the conveyor, it's power, belt speed, and optional even if you have the temperature, the ambient temperature in addition. So that's great. And with these five parameters, you really can already simulate and do a certain detail of digital twinning of the conveyor, and make your guess, and with our expertise to tell on which components of the conveyor, which elements there are a potential for improvement.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's really great. I'm really excited about that solution and the technology, and really also the expertise we can bring there to the mining companies. And the second stage would be just the upgrade, more or less, of this technology, that digital twin, now talking more about a guided condition monitoring, like the digital twin. So you have a live stream or stream batches to monitor performance, and also do some predictive maintenance and kind of predictive troubleshooting of conveyors. So as we all know, conveyors often, miners are also hesitant to really push the conveyor to the limits. So since it's a kind of a bottleneck, because it's the only equipment in the mine, and or it's the only line, for example, in a mine. So that's the critical path. So that's some kind of conservative approach to conveying, so not stretch the limits, so that we can also improve by predictive maintenance measures and predictive analytics, taken from a live stream. And yeah, the third phase I would put is then the interaction with other equipment. So especially we as a full flow sheet provider, as I would put it. So we could take out certain sections of the flow sheet and then check the interactions of the different conveyors or also other adjacent equipment. And there we assess, for example, capacity peaks, and look if in the system, in the interaction of the system, it's possible to adjust, for example, belt speed, adjust the load share of the conveyor over time better. And this, for example, has already surprising effects on the conveyor energy demand and energy efficiency accordingly. Because as you can imagine, so yeah, as a conveyor, you always have to carry the belt. Simply explained, you always have to carry the belt, and if you can split the load and even out the loads on the conveyor, so the peaks will taken out, and that's where high energy demand is taken from the conveyor. So that's basically the 3 steps. So more static digital twin health check, then guided monitoring, and third one, interaction with adjacent equipment and optimization of the complete flow.
That's great. That's great. And I can see you already organized, the step, and that would be great because some people doesn't have the clear idea how we can deploy this system, especially for conveyors. And the current technology helped us, to have access to more accurate data, and because data is the fuel of digital transformation or this type of revolution in industry. And traditional methods to collect the data, for example, using the hard sensors, it's used in a same as the soft sensors that we are using right now, or using, for example, fiber optic technology to collect data from idle conveyor system or something like that, can help us to gather more and more data from different components of conveyor belt system, and then we can use machine learning or advanced analytics or any other opportunities that we have for analytics to optimize, for example, energy efficiency. That is the key point here. And we are consuming the huge amount of energy for mine material transportation or transferring by conveyor. But may have, some examples of improving energy efficiency in mining equipment, except for conveyors?
Yeah, absolutely. So in a lot of a lot of equipment, but my personal favorite, and also where we put a lot of effort in, is our HPGR Pro upgrade for HPGRs. So already being in the grinding circuit or in the pre-grinding circuit, and there are two exemplary efficiency upgrades. So the one is, for example, the rotating side plates. So where we add some additional side plates, which is more a mechanical or structural upgrade on the machine, but already this is allowing up to 20% throughput increase, while still cutting the energy demand by up to 15%. Yeah, and if you're looking on the other hand side, more sensor wise, so there's the stud detection technology which we can bring in, and that's a very typical solution for asset availability and reliability. So monitoring of the performance, initiate analytics in terms of lifetime prediction, and so we can guarantee and we can initiate and optimize timing of exchange of the stats, and this pays into then the equipment efficiency and availability KPIs. So that's HPGR Pro, also really nice in terms of efficiency, partially hardware, partially digital, but in a combination, really great solution.
Let's talk about a little general about the mining organizations, because we have two key points here today. Is the first is digital transformation, and the second is mining organization. I want to create a question for you related to these two key words. In overall, what steps are being taken at the mining organization to be a leader in this digital transformation or in digital revolution?
Yeah, I would see also again, so when talking talking in different steps, so here I would also have my three key bullet points how I would look into it, how to lead this. So especially when looking into digital and data, all the data collected in the recent years is a big mess to be frank. So the first and the key lever, in my opinion, for mining companies is a structured data management. So, for example, we know also as FL Smith have one initiative with Aviva, with a partnership, also for a more structured approach to data. And I think that's the key for everything. So we have a lot of data in hand, but we need to get them structured and then distribute them in a structured manner, so that allows to take really the know-how, the expertise of all the data science around the world. Second is, and that's something I think is very much a soft skill, but I think it's a bit too much idle still. So it's a transformation of workforce. So training of workforce, how to guide the workforce, the mining colleagues in the mines, how to guide them into the digital transformation, how to guide them to the to the future of mining, and how to make them a highly relevant and educated part of the future. And this transformation of the workforce is also, I think, a huge it's a huge topic which needs to be addressed much more. And often people are really afraid of digital, of automation and what it is about. And I think we much more have to understand that digital is an additional tool. Like it's you have your truck, you have your crusher, and digital is an additional tool we can use in the mines, and we should really look at this and explain it to the workforce better and educate them for that. And the third topic is then it's more this integrated approach, which I think is the absolute future. Is an analytics along the flow sheet. So really look at the flow sheet, look more into interactions of the flow sheet, and you need some full line expertise for that, but to continuously optimize and improve from bottleneck to bottleneck, I think that's key, and that's then the major driver for efficiency. So that's where the fun really begins to assess and find and attack the global minimum of the flow sheet, and other than only the local minima of the single equipment.
Mhm, mhm. You know, one thing that happened in, especially in mining industry, when we started a digital era, was just focusing on gathering data or data gathering. And technology forced us for many years to install the new sensors everywhere. And now you can see many equipment in the mine sites. They have equipped by different types of the sensors. And you know, the technology developer and new startups who could make the new sensors also put a lot of pressure on mining organizations to purchase more and more sensors and install everywhere. And later, when we install this huge amount of sensors, we face with the big data problem in this revolution, because we're receiving the messy data from everywhere, a huge data, and we had to, you know, store this data in a local server or later on the cloud-based server or something like that. But it wasn't the key point to lead the digital transformation, because the key is analytics. But recently, you know, I'm speaking about maybe 5 years or 4 years, digital transformation changed the direction to analytics. And now we are using machine learning, artificial intelligence, and other mathematical analytics method to make benefit from this potential from the raw data. And that is great. But in this journey, the companies, the mining companies who are pioneer in this field would be leader for this digital transformation in the future. So yeah, but we need to think about this story and the background of digital transformation in mining to avoid any this type of the mistake again and again. So it's not starting from data, because some companies think about gathering data as an ocean and then dive to this ocean to extract initiatives. But it doesn't work. If you want to be leader, you need to start from business problems. Bring the business problems on the table, think about some, you know, potential solutions, and then gather the related data to this solution, not just gathering the data from you know,
Yeah.
all equipments components. All right, so I know that you are very excited about this type of the technology and about the digital technology, but I really like to know what are some of the new digital technologies or innovations that you are particularly excited about?
So yeah, in general, at so the group at FLS, we call it enabler, and it's exactly the right wording from my view. So just for your what you just explained, absolutely couldn't agree more. Yeah, what I'm excited. So as the discussion flows, yeah, it's really digital will enable huge power, and my personal excitement is really into the math of optimization and performance optimization of the complete value chain along the flow sheet, and then data analytics and finding the global minima. That's really something I'm into, and I really would like to drive much more. But for general, what I think I'm really curious and excited about is at the moment is really autonomous and robotics. And I really believe that this can be on a mid or at least long term can be a game changer in how we look into mines, how we look into mine planning. Um, So and how we can for example benefit from the different ratios between weight and material for autonomous trucks. So trucks might be much smaller. Yeah, mines could be steeper or need less wide ramps with smaller trucks. Since you don't have you don't have the requirement for skilled drivers in a huge amount. If you have autonomous, you can go with much smaller with much smaller trucks, while applying ideas of design of robotics or of robots. You could yeah bring these technologies somehow together, and that in my opinion that's something also looking on the mid and long term, but that's really exciting. But what there is on the horizon, in my opinion, also looking into space mining, which is the same problem approached differently. But that's something really worth following up, in my opinion. Autonomous and robotics. So that's some digital and also automation technologies in the mining world. I follow with excitement.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it's exciting area for all of us that we are working in the field of data or IT, autonomous fleet using robotics. But it's a huge topic. Maybe later we can have another talk about the, the using the robots or having the autonomous fleet in
Yeah,
the mine sites. But
definitely.
definitely there are a lot of benefits for mining companies. But de- definitely they need to invest more and more in this area. So my question exactly is related to this investment because we are working in the a very old industry is a mining, and we have many uh, executive managers who are thinking traditionally and who are uh, and the financial benefits normally lead the big managers to make a decision for any investment. When you're speaking about any new technology, you need to show the financial benefit. Honestly speaking, money is driving this innovation right now in mining industry. But what do you think about this? What benefits have you seen in mining companies encouraging them to invest in digital transformation and definitely responsible mining?
Yeah, it definitely is on the one hand side, it's operational expenditure. So if you have upgrades there, but still, even if the numbers are a fit, it's still a challenge to implement into the mines. Just the good numbers if it comes along with a change of operation. So there's also a huge risk, which understandably mining managers are hesitant. But the big stake I see and the big value in also digital solutions is the social license to operate for mining companies. So yeah, digital and structured analytics will give them the opportunity to measure their emissions, scope 1, 2, 3 emissions, very important. Yeah, so sustainability measures will be measurable.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and all these effects somehow will be added with a price, in my opinion. And either probably either sooner than later there will be a price on all these measures, either emissions, either decarbonization or green
Mm,
energy use for the mining operations, and other sustainability KPIs, and make the ability to make these measurable will help them a lot to save money on the one hand side, but also to gain really the social license to operate. And if miners don't do it proactively, so as soon as a technical solution will be on the market, the legal regulations will be very soon to be implemented, that the governments will tell the miners, okay, it's technically feasible, so you have to implement it. So I think there's a lot of value to approach that proactively on the mining industry side.
I see. I see. Yeah, as you mentioned, recently we have some other financial encouragement sources for the mining companies. Uh, Normally, I'm attending many conferences around the world, and one of my favorite conference is Mine and Future. And Mine and Future is in North America, in United States, everywhere.
Yeah.
And recently, they are following three dimensions in you know uh, for their conference. The first dimension is zero in three. The second is zero carbon, and the third one is zero injury. It means that now the future of mining would be about the environment and safety. And in other side, the governments in different countries, for example, in Australia or in Brazil, force the mining companies to reduce their greenhouse gas emission or the making carbon. It can be useful for mining because is encouragement is they can encourage executive managers to think about other encouragement method, not just focusing on money or on the financial benefit. So but we talk about everything, and I ask you about your exciting point, but everything is related to the current situation that we have and maybe something that happened in the past. But what are you most excited about the future of digitalization in mining?
Mm. Yeah, I think yeah, digitalization must and also will be the enabler to lever optimizations along the full flow sheet. So there will always be mining, especially now with the need for resources to drive the green transformation. And this is our chance, but also our duty to contribute and fight hard to get this as a sustainable mining environment. And yeah, this on the one hand side to minimize the resources for mining equipment itself, and on the other hand to really minimize the operational efficiencies or maximize the operational efficiencies to reduce the specific energy demand for mining. So which means, okay, per gram or per ton of copper, so have a minimum of specific energy consumed or taken to generate this ton. And I think that's really something we have a huge lever in hand to contribute. We need to make it measurable, and make it measurable is making it digital. And if you have it measurable, you are able to optimize. And there I'm really convinced that we have a huge share and huge potential and huge open chunk of waste energy we can take out of the system, and that's our duty to fight for that, in my opinion.
Perfect, perfect. So we talk about some the digital transformation benefits or the exciting point for us, the encouragement for mining companies. But definitely we have some challenges in this journey. What are the challenges facing mining companies in using digital solutions?
I scratched on it already. I think that the diversity of stakeholders in the industry is extreme. So mining, we are global industry. We have all different kinds of developed mines, very lean mines, and then we have the sub supplier environment. We have the mining product customer on the other end, and in this ecosystem, digitalization is nothing you can naturally grab, see, or feel. And in my view, the challenge is really to get everybody involved and get everybody on track, because what means nothing more than, okay, we need an education and understanding of the fundamentals of digitalization on all edges. Because only if we have this understanding on all involved parties and all involved stakeholders, we can really get the value of digitalization by assessment, by analytics, and then by implementation of the message found out of the data analytics. And so I think the major challenge is to make digital feelable and abstract it a bit down, reduce complexity in the explanations, and make it easier to understand, and make it easier to be part of it for all involved stakeholders. And that's in my opinion a major challenge to how to interact. Earlier it was hardware, and you give a piece to someone else, and this this structure we need to get somehow again, and this is a super complex task.
That's perfect. You mentioned some key challenges that I believe that we are facing them in mining companies. I really appreciate it, Stefan. I know that it's too late now in Germany, but you did a great job. Thank you so much. And now we are in the end of this interview. I believe that this interview was one of the best interview that I had. And I need just to take this opportunity to thank you for this episode. And I also need to thank all our participants in the live session. The recorded version of this program will be available on our YouTube channel and other virtual pages on different social platforms. Thanks to all of you guys, and I hope you have benefited from discussed topics, and hope to see you again at the following event. Thanks, Stefan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate the chat. Thank you. Pleasure.